The disgraced former star of the reality TV show 19 Kids and Counting, Josh Duggar, is about to face additional criminal charges, according to new allegations. This sudden change in circumstances has the power to completely upend the Duggar family. Josh Duggar's name has been associated with controversy, legal issues, and scandal because of his history of tumultuous relationships. There is still a lot of debate around Josh Duggar, as shown by the fact that he had previously been charged with domestic violence and was found guilty of downloading child pornography. More information has now come to light that paints a troubling picture of a man who persists in committing crimes, such as deceit, manipulation, and even more serious offenses. In light of the fact that these perverse plots are coming to light, Josh might soon be subject to more criminal accusations. A downfall for the Duggar household. Because of their huge family over the course of several years, the Duggar family was able to gain the admiration and notoriety of millions of people by appearing on TLC's 19 Kids and Counting. The show's emphasis on Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's strict religious views and large family dynamics helped it become a sensation. They were well known because of their conservative and Christian-centered lifestyle, which resonated with many people. However, all fell apart in 2015 when the public was initially made aware of Duggar's past. Josh is the oldest of the Duggar family and has long been portrayed as a devout Christian man and the ideal son. However, rumors surfaced that revealed a very disturbing secret. Josh had sexually molested many of his younger sisters and a family friend when he was a teenager. The details of these crimes were made public through a police report, which caused a lot of shock and uproar among the populace. Josh and his family attempted to downplay the severity of the allegations, but the harm to their reputation was irreparable. Josh was temporarily removed from the public eye following the demise of the show. Josh found himself in yet another dilemma, just when it seemed like the Duggars might have been able to weather the storm. Josh Duggar was arrested in the year 2021 and was convicted on federal criminal charges of receiving and possessing child pornography. Given that he received a term of over 12 years in federal prison, this was the final blow to his personal life and image. The conspiracy has been exposed, and a new web of deceit has emerged. There might be even more sinister actions going on beneath the surface, according to recent studies. Even though Josh Duggar's legal troubles seem to have finally reached its peak, Josh's tenacious attempts to influence the legal system and avoid the repercussions of his actions have come under investigation by the authorities, who have discovered a complex plot including Josh Duggar allegedly engaged in a number of illegal activities intended to avoid detection, hide evidence, and potentially receive a less sentence. According to several individuals involved in the investigation, there is growing worry that these new accusations will result in criminal charges being filed against the person. Let's examine the key elements of this recently exposed plot, each of which could have far more significant legal ramifications for Josh Duggar. First, property witnesses are intimidated and tampered with. Josh Duggar's purported attempts to wield influence are among the most disturbing aspects of the most recent accusations leveled against him, and threaten witnesses who might give an unfavorable account. It would suggest that Duggar tried to contact those who provided information about his prior criminal activity. These individuals included both acquaintances and family members. Based on the evidence gathered by the investigators, it seems possible that Duggar attempted to influence these people to change their testimony or retract their statements in exchange for promises of money, compensation, or other benefits. It would seem that Duggar might have used direct or indirect threats against witnesses in some cases to keep them from providing testimony that would be harmful to his cause. Josh might face charges of witness tampering and obstruction of justice if these claims are looked into and shown to be true. Given the seriousness of these crimes, he might receive an additional jail sentence, which would significantly lengthen the current sentence. The second is the hiding of assets and financial fraud. In addition to the dishonest methods Duggar has used to sway witnesses, his money dealings have also been closely examined. When Josh was found guilty in 2021, he was required to pay reparations as part of the terms of his sentencing. This restitution was intended to provide financial compensation to the victims of his crimes, most of whom were young girls who had been harmed by his previous sexual attacks. Conversely, on the other hand, authorities recently discovered that Duggar might have been a part of a complex scheme to hide assets and evade making the legally required reparations. Several sources have speculated that Duggar might have used his family's assets, including hidden bank accounts and cash transactions, to secretly move money out of the court's purview. It would be more difficult for the authorities to monitor Duggar's holdings, and making certain that the full amount of restitution was paid as a result of this action. If Duggar is convicted of the serious crimes of financial fraud, tax evasion, and money laundering, his already lengthy prison sentence might be increased by several years. The third is the digital footprint, which is a network of online bullying and child exploitation. Another troubling element of the alleged plot against Josh Duggar is his use of technology to carry out illegal activities. Attempting to execute. In 2021, Duggar received a sentence for possessing and disseminating child pornography. His total conviction included this conviction. However, detectives have recently found evidence that indicates Duggar continued to use encrypted messaging systems and other tools to further his illegal actions while awaiting trial. The sources claim that Duggar communicated with people who were active in internet and dark web communities, forums that were devoted to the spread of illegal material. Some of these individuals are accused of giving Duggar access to a network of resources that would enable him to purchase and sell more illicit products. It has been claimed that Duggar used encrypted messaging apps to communicate secretly with the people in issue, which made it difficult for government enforcement to keep an eye on his activities. Should it turn out that these accusations are true, along with charges of conspiracy and organized crime, Duggar might also face further charges related to the possession and distribution of child pornography. Fourth, deceiving the people and manipulating the media covertly. Josh Duggar's attempts to control the media and the public's perception of his actions are one of the many facets of his convoluted scheme. It has been said that during all of his legal troubles, Duggar and his attorneys have made attempts to change the public's perception of him to one that is more sympathetic. Reaching out to journalists, composing letters, and taking part in media interviews were among the steps that were done. In these interviews, Duggar would present himself as someone who had been wrongfully persecuted or as a victim of circumstance. Duggar is accused of going so far as to orchestrate false narratives in the media, in some cases in an effort to downplay the seriousness of his offenses and how they affected the victims he targeted. According to some reports, Duggar's staff even made an effort to convince some media sites to publish more uplifting articles about him. This could have been done to exert influence over the legal system and to affect the public. If it turns out that Duggar purposefully misled the media in this way, he might face charges of fraud, public deception, and deceiving the public. Way.